Hello Aries and welcome to your June 2023 reading. So, I meditated on your energy and what Spirit wanted to talk to you about. The first card that came out is the moon. So, you come into the month and things might be, when we're entering like in the moon, it's like if our unconscious is much stronger than our conscious at that point. There's things coming up, old emotions, old stuff from the past. Here we have this lobster, which is a bottom feeder that fed for a long time from the debris of your unconscious that is now coming up to the surface to be addressed, to be transformed, to have the understanding and the enlightenment here with this, the shower of information that comes down. Okay, direction. Of course, here are the two sides of our animalistic party, is either going to guide us or howl at the unknown. So we're kind of walking in this unknown state at the beginning of the month, but not for long, because right after we have the sun. So bang, moon, sun, total clarity comes in. And then we have the hermit. So total clarity. And I'm going to use this clarity to guide myself into that unknown state. Okay? The hermit walks in the night because he doesn't have a 5-year plan. But when he is guided by his inner light, that does not scare him. What was untamed, old beliefs, old wounds, or whatever, has been mastered by his wisdom. And that's why he can walk tranquil, guided by his inner light. So this is what's happening for you this month, Aries. Under the moon, we have the Knight of Swords with the Ace of Wands. So that means that there's this potential that comes from your moon, that comes from your root, your unconscious, all of that. But you don't have the truth about it yet. It's still lost in leftover old wounds, projections, illusions. Is this a fantasy? Is this real? I'm projecting all sorts of outcome from that Ace of Wands. Not as bad as they used to be, but it's still there because there's unknown, and I don't have that inner certitude that's going to make me, yes, this is it, and I'm going for it. But it's coming. Under the sun, we have the Chariot, the Lovers, and the Hangman. Here is like 4 major arcanas in the middle of the month for you, Aries. So prepare yourself for an amazing shift here, okay? Where you're going to be able to make an inspired decision because you're going to get the enlightenment out of seeing clearly, reversing your vision on something, seeing it clearly, and finally being able to move forward. Success. Realigning yourself in who you truly are. Under the Hermit, I have the 8 of Cups and the 5 of Wands. All the inner conflict that didn't permit you to actually grab that Ace of Wands, that one direction where maybe it was like yes, but maybe a bit of this 3 steps forward, 2 steps back kind of thing. You're finally going to take that wand and leave all of the old crap behind that was still creating moments of confusion for you. And leave it all behind. This is what the moon was calling for you to do. And it's going to become extremely clear this month. All right? So let's clarify this for you, Aries. I call upon the divine. I call upon the light. I call upon the Holy Spirit. Help me clarify this reading for Aries for the month of June 2023. June 2023. All right, let's look at the moon. Wheel of Fortune, because we didn't have enough major arcanas. Here's the Hangman upright. So you come in, it creates kind of confusion for you maybe, but it's looking at what you want to build, what you're building, how you're investing your energy, what was my original vision of this and all of that. But whatever it is, you're having some kind of insight where there's a part, because of course the Hangman, is the Lord of Water in a way. Yes, it's Odin, but it will be associated with the Hebrew letter Mem, and the Lord of Water used to be like lines, a bit like Aquarius, linked with 12th house, because it also very associated with sacrifice. In order to transform, we need to sacrifice the old us. We need to understand and master our old waters. And there's a bit of this here. In order to have this new fire direction into what you want to build, there's gotta be a release of the old waters. And that is what is gonna turn your Wheel of Fortune, Aries. Let's look at the sun here. What is so clear and obvious. And the sun is, what we want to express, experiment, bringing the joy and the happiness in our lives. And the joy and the happiness cannot be obstructed by confusion due to old sadnesses. And I think this is what is going to be super clear for you, to finally understand or be clear about, if this is my reality, I cannot see the sun. I cannot be in the sun if my waters are all over the place. Is this just a thick card or yeah? And here I have the King of Swords in reverse. That means I'm buying a lie about this. If this is my reality, then I'm projecting it in front of me, but it is not the reality of my higher self maybe. And I need to look at that from a completely different angle. Hermit. Yeah, okay. So the Hermit here is going to continue the process so that death can happen. So that you can really let die what the moon brought up. Okay, and maybe you're going to find yourself extremely nostalgic for something of 20 years ago or whatever, but that it was still lingering and putting your life on a hold when you wanted to recreate something or whatever. Okay, the Death card, if you look at it in the background, you have two pillars with the sun, because this comes after this. These are the two pillars. And the sun is behind that moon. So it is as I walk through the valley of shadows, of my life, I will slowly let them die in order for me to discover my new truth about me, my new reality, where I'll be able to manage things differently, create things differently, build differently. If you look on this, these are three men. These are three different aspects of the left brain, okay? You have like the inspired part that kind of received this inspiration from the right brain of connected to his soul. This is what I want to build. Connected to his spirit. Tells it is to the architect, the rational part that's going to be like, it's going to be like this, and so on. Can visualize it. And then they share it to the craftsman that holds the knowledge and the willpower to actually make it. These are the three masculine aspects in order to create our reality. So here, let's look at that Ace of Wands. What is that? Flame, passion that came out of the woodworks of something that you want to build and create, but we don't want it to remain just a potential. We want it to be actually planted and grown. But we don't know how to do it. Hermit in reverse. We don't have the truth about it. We're still lost in our cloud of projections. There's the Ace of Wands. Lost in the cloud of projection, but slowly getting out of our emotional prison. No, because we're using strength here. Our lion is like, yes, but it won't work like the other things didn't work before. Or you'll end up, the same way, or whatever, the losses and the pains. And because this is all we've known, slowly I'm getting out of this prison. So the sun is shining. The clarity of what these old pains actually builded in us. It influenced the way we perceive the reality. It brought a constant sadness. This is when we have a hard time celebrating life with others. So Aries, this is like there's this old sadness coming up to the surface here so that you can clear it, so that you can stop projecting it in front of you, which always hinders what you're trying to build here, what you're trying to create and build. So we want to put so much sun in that water that it's going to evaporate here, Chariot, so that you can, be in that movement forward, going towards your aspiration. But if I project it, all my aspirations will be a source of pain and sadness. I'm not going anywhere in my chariot. So I maybe will stop disempowering myself and not plant any seeds. Oh, I can't because it's going to end up like that anyway. It's defeatism that prevented you from being able to move forward. What keeps that chariot stable? And yes, it's going to be pulled by our conscious and our unconscious. But if you look at that, stability and movement that allows movement forward also is those two wings on that spinning wheel. And spinning wheel needs to be balanced in order to kind of accept movement. And what was preventing, and the wings, we're talking about the mind, Queen of Sword, King of Sword. I cannot keep a lie because it's going to influence the way I perceive reality. I cannot continue to disempower myself. Hangman with the All right. So, Queen of Cups, Three of Wands. It's like if by making the decision of, yes, I'm going to allow more, there is more water, I'm going to allow it in, Queen of Cups, then what I'm going to sacrifice is a dark, blurry future so that I'm going to have the future that I create now. That not the one I'm projecting out of my wounds and my old losses, but that one that will come from my decisions and my investment. So what am I going to sacrifice is the old water that create the projections. That's what I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to leave it all behind. I'm going to leave it all behind. And that's going to allow me to hear my inner voice much better, to go and plant my next 10 of Pentacle. There it is. And I won't be 3 steps forward, 3 steps back anymore. 2 of Cups. What are you? I'm releasing. Yeah, oops. Okay. I'm moving forward, releasing old abandonment and stuff like that when it comes to connections. Mirrors, the mirrors in our lives. If I bring in confusion, I'm receiving confusion. If I'm bringing in disempowerment, I'm going to bring somebody that's going to disempower me, or that I'll feel I'm going to sabotage in a way, because this is sabotage. So all of this is for you to get this new truth into what you can build. But there's so many major arcanas, Aries here, that this is really like, okay, Aries, look at this. You can do something else. Leave it behind. Leave it behind. So I'm going to call this leave it behind, because this is really, it's the sacrifice of your 12th house, where you're going to let go of old things so that you can really jump into what you want to build in the future without having any of the old things staining your capacity to rejoice, be happy, be fully in it. So, release. I'm going to call it release. On this, my beautiful Aries, I'm sending you all my love and light. You will be a bit like the hermit this month, but in a very good way, where you're going to bring the intelligence of nature into your daily life, trusting yourself, and letting go of the confusion. Oh, maybe that's a better title. Letting go of the confusion. So, on that, namaste. Thank you for watching, sharing, commenting. Please subscribe to help grow the channel. If you want a private reading, there's the website below. You just go there and it's very user friendly. Don't forget about the solstice this month. So perfect timing to celebrate life and expand and bring the light into what do I want? How do I want to expand myself here? Fire of fire. So in this Gemini season. So on this, namaste, and I'll see you next month. Bye bye.